Hello there, and welcome to another episode of A Candid Conversation with Adam Lopez. I am your host, Adam, and I want to thank you so much for your continued support and to always listen and watching these videos, these interviews, which I'm starting to bring very exciting content. And today is not the exception. I want to welcome Angel Kirk to the program. So, Angel, I'm so glad you are here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
First and foremost, thank you for giving me your time, giving us your time. I know that we had scheduled this a while back, but we had to reschedule for whatever reasons. But you're very kind enough to be flexible and be with us on the show. And and on this show, we talk about many different things. We don't stick to one subject. We want to talk about what you're doing, how you're helping the world, how you're empowering individuals, but more than anything, women. So, but I love what your LinkedIn profile says. It says CEO, right? But it says Chief Everything Officer, which is amazing. What does that mean to you? Where did you come up with that?
So, men are wonderful, don't get me wrong, but as a woman, we fill so many roles. And I feel like that we are the Chief Everything Officer of everything. We have to be the Chief Everything Officer of the home in the sense of being a mom and taking care of so many things. And again, that's not to belittle the role that a man plays.
Yeah.
Chief Everything Officer I had several businesses in my life. I work with several women, you have to be the Chief Executive Officer of your life and take care of every aspect of it. And you're the only one that can control that.
Well, that's great. When you see CEO, everybody thinks of, the corporate, the whole thing, but I was really intrigued by what I saw. Chief Everything Officer. And you're absolutely right? The woman, and like you said, not degrading or minimizing the man, but the woman takes on so many roles and so many hats. And she's definitely my wife's my boss. So she's a Chief Everything Officer as well, right? So that's a whole different perspective, Angel. So thank you for sharing that for us. Go ahead.
No, I also think that, you have to look at the bigger picture of you have to direct and control your own life, and you have to be the CEO of that. And that even goes for gentlemen, right? So, the bigger and broader picture of that is be your own Chief Everything Officer and handle your own stuff.
Oh man, take ownership. I love that, Angel.
Take ownership. That's exactly right.
Take ownership. So you know what? We're speaking with Angel Kirk. She actually owns Angel Kirk Consulting, and we're going to get into that right away because I believe and I feel that it's very intriguing and interesting what you do because you overall, you handle business branding. Branding is so important nowadays, right? So you help in that area. You provide sales team training, which again, sales team, the whole thing, brainstorming is important when you want to launch a brand. But more importantly, this is your mantra, your slogan: taking business to the next level. Right. So what does that mean to you, Angel? Taking the business to the next level. What level? What is that? What is that composed of?
Well, I think we all have different levels and different places that we want to be in life. But, nowadays it's so imperative to do what you're doing, get out there and talk about it and actually show people who you really are. Very few people, unless you have a real specialty niche and you've been around for a long time, actually can build or grow a business just by, sitting behind their desk. The old methods of cold calling and things like that, which are still very much used and some companies still, very much love them, are kind of antiquated if you are not out there and showing people who you are. We live in a society now of it's easy to be false. It's easy to not trust people. Additionally, it's easy to fall behind in the shadow. And you really need to get out there and show people who you are in an honest, real way and brand yourself that way.
That's amazing. And I'm going to tag this on it. I firmly believe that, it has to grow organically. When you force something, right, you're going to be faced with obstacles or whatnot. But when you let it go organically, it's something that has more value, that that you allowed it to take its course and you didn't force something. So I think that's amazing. So we're speaking with Angel Kirk from Angel Kirk Consulting. If somebody wants to get a hold of Angel, they can email her at theangelkirk@gmail.com, and it's going to be there on the bottom of your screen. And you can also reach out to her on LinkedIn and send her a direct message, connect with her to see how she can help you and your company. And if you're an entrepreneur with great ideas and you're ambitious and you always have crazy ideas like I do in my head, Angel can help us brand, create a sales team training, get an objective going. So Angel, part of your consulting, tell us a little bit. Let's say, for example, that somebody who's listening has an idea, they're entrepreneur, they want to start up a company, but they don't have any idea where to start. How can Angel Kirk Consulting come in and help them launch a business?
Well, it would be a series of getting to know, their target market, who they want the world to know them to be, what they're trying to get out there. And then teaching skills as far as, we get a business plan together, we get a marketing plan together, and then teaching them skills. It might be as simple as teaching them interview skills. I've taught interview skills for years, been in that world. It might be, the branding portion. It might be they're scared to death to get on video and they need to be taught how to get on video, which is probably, I'd say 85 to 90% of the people that I coach are just so afraid of that. And it might just be finding their message, finding their why. There's just so many things out there that need to be, people have these ideas, but you have to actually get them in some sort of form and find your niche and then just go for it.
You know what? I think you said it very well. The very first step is let's identify your audience. Who's going to be your customer, right? Who do you want to target? Who do you want the people to know your business as? I think that's amazing, and you bring up great points. Let me ask you this, Angel. How long have you been in this line of business? How long have you been doing this?
Ultimately, about 20 years. I have owned and operated several of my own businesses. Ran my own, real estate brokerage, my own Allstate insurance agency, my own salon and spa. Been in several things for years. So, if you really look at yourself and look back at things that you've done, you've actually coached and groomed yourself more than you think you have. It's just, putting that out there. Many people have done things for years that give them extensive and amazing skills. They just don't know it. And that's another thing that I like to do is try and pull that out of people.
Wow. So 20 years, which it's a segue to this, is because I had a question for you. So obviously we know that within the past 5 years, maybe this entire platform of social media, free marketing, free promotion on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, things can go viral. It's a different world than when you started 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you explain to us just a little bit, because even I want to understand, what is the difference between when you first started to now? Like, I guess share with us the disparities or the differences, the pros and the cons, if you could.
Sure. Well, I mean, back in the day when I first started, social media really wasn't around at all.
Correct.
We were putting ads on, the back of shopping carts and, dialing for dollars and
Yellow pages. Yeah.
Yellow pages. And, referrals were huge like they are now, but it wasn't, somebody going and doing testimonial video. It was actually people having to speak to other people and referring, which is great nowadays. Don't get me wrong. Referrals are amazing, but I can go shoot a video testimonial for somebody and refer to millions of people versus just, one-on-one word of mouth.
Yeah.
I think I think that some of us have had to go back to the grassroots method of, COVID hit and we had to do everything online. And now we're going back to, let's go out and meet with people again. And let's go out and interact with people. But still, the power of video and the power of social media nowadays is absolutely insane. It's the sky's the limit.
Yeah, you hit it right on. That's exactly my feeling. I was 1996 university, and Yahoo had barely came out with emails, and never that I imagined it was going to lead to this huge, revolutionize the entire industry. So now you have so many different options, so many different opportunities, and we have people like Angel Kirk who can help, entrepreneurs, startup companies, get where they have to be, because I believe branding is very important. And people, when they hear branding, is like, I have to have a brand. It's not necessarily you have to have a brand. No. It's getting yourself out there. It's getting yourself known.
And it's who you are.
Right?
It's who you are from the core, right? I tell people, branding, yes, hey, you don't even really need a website anymore, to be honest with you, if in some niches, in some markets, but there's credibility in that, and that's kind of a different conversation. But branding is who you are. Branding is letting the world know who you are and giving value and why you are that person. And, it's not fancy colors and things like that, although that can be utilized.
Yeah.
But so I completely agree.
Wow. I never saw it that way, but you're right. Your branding it represents who you are. It's your core. It's your person, your persona, your personality, which I think it's amazing, because, when you're passionate, all your efforts and your sweat goes into that brand. It's your baby. It's your business, right? So that's going to represent you, who you are, what you want to do,
Yep.
which I think it's amazing. So thank you. We're speaking with Angel Kirk from Angel Kirk Consulting. She's doing amazing things, helps with branding, sales team training. Now, sales team training. We understand that obviously sales is sometimes the blood life of many companies, right? Sales, sales, sales. But there's other underlying factors also that make that blood, flow through the business. But sales is definitely important. So what type of training, what type of educating or tools do you provide to sales teams to be able to thrive in the business world?
Sure. I think the biggest key is team building. Team building is huge. If you don't have a cohesive team and a great leader, the teams will never be successful the way that people really want them to be, or to flourish. So first and foremost, everybody needs to be cohesive. Everybody needs to understand that we're all human beings. We all have wants, needs, desires, and a great leader will actually pull that out of people and be able to, be the example and be on their level. So I do a lot of training in that aspect. Additionally, I have a lot of companies that'll come to me with their own curriculum, and they need to be trained, but they just need some finesse and they need some suggestions on how to be cohesive that way. So quite frequently, they'll come to me with some of their own curriculum, and we'll go from there.
That's awesome. So you pretty much, you coach them, you guide them the proper way to go, right? Because somebody might have an amazing business plan, right? Strategy, but it doesn't really go along with, their product or their business model, right? So this is why Angel Kirk is a perfect person to be able to be your coach and to guide you. So Angel Kirk Consulting, if anybody wants to get a hold of her, the email is theangelkirk@gmail.com. It's going to be there on the bottom of your screen, so you can take note and reach out to her. Also, LinkedIn, you can send her a direct message, and she can definitely give you more information, such as other tools and resources, how to get a hold of her. Now, another thing that's really interesting about you, Angel, is you're also a speaker and a host. Tell us a little bit about what type of events do you do? What have you done that could be exciting or intriguing for our audience?
Sure. The most favorite thing that I did was I had a hockey show for about 4 years. I hosted a hockey show, a big hockey mom, 20-year hockey mom. Yay, hockey. So that was a lot of fun. Additionally, I do a lot of speaking at women's events. Anything that empowers women is really kind of up my alley. Some Christian women's events I'm very active in, chambers, things like that. Just love to speak, love to network. And again, on the flip side of that, love to coach the interview and speaking process. So all of that is kind of a niche that I really love.
Well, it's interesting because you obviously serve a multiple different variety of groups, Christian women, business women, and other groups, which is amazing. I think that's when you have that diversity and you have a lot of, I guess, content in your repertoire or your material. It's always good, right, to be able to present to different groups, which I think it's amazing. That's something that I eventually want to get into. Coaching people, training people. And you said something earlier that's very prominent nowadays, even with professionals, even with executives. They're scared of the mic. They're scared of people. They're scared of public speaking. And I'm thinking like, wait, but you're in this position, like, shouldn't you have some type of sense of personality, like people person, connectivity, connect with people, communication? So I find that's more prevalent nowadays, even amidst this whole social media world we live in. So what do you think that attributes to, Angel? What do you think is the main problem, not the problem, but what do you think is the issue behind individuals having this fear of public speaking?
I think that they zone in and hone in on the fact that, even though I'm on camera with you right now, they think about the thousands of people listening, right? And then they get this fear. Silly, but many people don't like their own voice on camera. I don't know many people that do. And many of my clients are like, that is one of their largest fears, is I don't like to hear my own voice on camera. That is something that has to be overcome. One of the tricks that I actually put on LinkedIn a few weeks ago was, if you are going on camera, and this is video, this is not live speaking, but if you're going on camera, put a picture of somebody that you really, really love or that makes you comfortable, a child, a dog, or something. Tape it up there on that camera and act like you're just speaking to them, and it can help take away that fear a little bit. So there's many tricks and tips that we can talk about doing video, but it's just that fear of I'm going to mess up. I don't like my voice. There's so many people watching. What am I going to say?
Yeah.
And my favorite thing though, Adam, is to coach somebody and watch them from their first video, which usually is not that great.
Yeah.
and then see them, 15, 20, 25, or even a year later and
The
watch
progress,
them.
yeah.
And because confidence is huge, and confidence is another thing that I teach, but confidence is key also. And you just have to get that confidence on camera.
Wow, that's amazing. No wonder you give yourself, or you see the title Chief Everything Officer, because you just hit on everything, right? Which is amazing.
I'm old, Adam. It comes with lots of years.
But see, now she's a vocal coach, a public speaking coach, which is awesome. I think those things are needed. They're great because I'm going to be honest with you, Angel. There's guests who want to be on the show, but they're like, I can't do it. Like, I'm so scared.
Right.
I'm nervous. I've never done like what. So as much as I try to put them at ease, it doesn't go through. And you're right. It's one of those things that you have to be creative. And you know how they used to say, just picture everybody without clothes, right?
Yes.
Or picture,
Yes.
just focus on one person or the wall.
On the top of their head or
Right,
something.
focus,
Yeah.
pretend they have a fly. Those things, sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. But we have to also be considerate that not everybody has that gift. Not everybody has that confidence to just jump on a call and do this. Like I do radio, I do commercials, I do this.
Nice.
And it comes naturally, right? And so
Yes.
I'm always considered like, well, not everybody can do that. So not everybody can do what you do. Not everybody can do what I do, right?
I have many things that I can't do that they can do also.
Correct.
So you're right. I'm like, wow, that person is amazing. I could never do that.
Right.
So yeah, definitely.
We're speaking with Angel Kirk. She's Angel Kirk Consulting Firm, which I'm getting to learn and know a lot about Angel in this interview. Not only does she help, startup businesses and sales team training and branding, but she also helps with speaking techniques and strategies, how to be an effective communicator, public speaker as well. Get over your fears. By any chance, do you have a book out? Have you written a book, Angel?
It's actually in the works, to be honest with you. I'm working on it with another really good friend of mine who interview coaches also and does some branding. So stay tuned. It will be out.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't been out yet because I love your vibe. I love your energy. You're just full of, experience and full of knowledge. So you can definitely share that with the world, which is awesome. And maybe when that book comes out, we'll have you again and we can definitely discuss the book. So ladies and gentlemen, theangelkirk@gmail.com is the email address. I'll have everything at the bottom of the screen. You can reach out to her on LinkedIn, send her a DM, connect with her. If you're a startup company entrepreneur, just want to learn more how to gain more confidence, she's the coach to go. She'll guide you, she'll help you, she'll do amazing things with you. Now this is going to be the segue to the last section or question that I have for you. You mentioned you love and you really thrive on empowering others, Angel, specifically women. So
yes,
before we answer that question, let me ask you this. Do you feel that nowadays women are getting more place at the table, for lack of a better word, more positions in corporate positions, more consideration, for board of directors, for committees, for executives, or do you feel we still have a long way to go?
Honestly, I do feel like it's improved immensely.
Okay.
I think social media has had a big role in that because women's voices have been heard extensively and they are taken more seriously. But I do think there are still some industries that are still the good old boys, still the man's world. And, that's slowly going to phase out, I think, with our different generations and how, like you said, social media has come about.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, there are some powerhouse women that are absolutely amazing and respected.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key is, becoming a woman of class and being respected and value and being an equal with men out there based off of those items. And it's huge. We have many, many women that are just soaring out there right now.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And I see the improvement. I see the progress. We definitely have room for opportunity, room for growth, right?
Yes, always room for improvement.
I love when you say I just empower others, because that just gives a sense that you genuinely care to help others. You genuinely want to see others grow and mature and be successful. So when you empower others, you're giving part of you, of your experience, of your knowledge, of what your experience is, right, to be able to help others empower and be successful. But you said especially women. Why is that near and dear to your heart? What do you want to accomplish there?
Because I can relate. So it's simply just the fact that I can relate. Yeah. I I know when from my heart, I know what women go through. I know the struggles, I know the challenges, and it's just simply, here we go. I've been there, done that, and I can relate and empathize. So,
and there's no other better reason than that, right? And that's great, because when you have that type of compassion and you can relate, then you understand. You understand, and you're able to identify the areas that really need to focus on to help a person and empower, especially women. So good for you. I commend you for that. That highly respectful and admirable from your part, your perspective. So thank you, Angel, for sharing everything that you do. Just to see you, to feel the vibe, the energy, you just seem somebody who really wants to help people and wants to do good and wants to have an impact. And I thank you for that. Thank you for coming on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, again, somebody wants to get a hold of Angel, there's an email address, theangelkirk@gmail.com. She's Angel Kirk Consulting Firm. She'll help you with all business strategy and branding, and also empower others as well. And reach out to her on LinkedIn. I follow her. She has amazing content. She always posts things that are inspiring, motivating, and just wants to push you to do good in the world. So thank you, Angel, for being that source of us for motivation. So do you have any last words for our viewers and our listeners today?
Well, today is National Acts of Kindness Day, and one of the things you'll always hear me say is be kind. And I think that's key in the world. Be kind. Like you said, truly care about other people, and not only will they succeed, but you'll succeed also. So
that is awesome. Well, thank you, Angel Kirk. She will help you take your business to the next level. You've been watching and listening to another episode of A Candid Conversation with Adam Lopez. I'm your host, Adam. Until next time, and thank you so much for your continued support. And remember, be kind always. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. This episode is sponsored in part by County Schools Federal Credit Union. This episode is sponsored in part by Black and